Hello Light Warriors, welcome to our Level 1 kickboxing class where you're going to learn the basics of punching and kicking. We're going to start out by showing you the fighting stance, and the first part of that is learning your foot placement. If you are right-handed, you are going to step forward with your left foot. If you are left-handed, you are going to step forward with your right foot. So take a look at my feet here. Being right-handed, I'm going to step forward with my left foot, keeping it on the left side of this line. My right heel will be on the right side of the line. If you are left-handed, you are going to step forward with your right foot and keep your toe on the right side of the line, and then put your left heel on the opposite side of the line there. What you don't want to do is something like this. You don't want to keep your feet in a straight line like that. Another pointer is you always want to remember to keep your feet at a 45-degree angle like you see here. If you are right-handed, there's my left foot forward, my right foot back, and both my feet are facing at a 45-degree angle. Now that you have your feet positioned properly, we're going to move on to hand positioning. If you are left-handed, you're going to put your left hand up by your cheek to protect your face, and you're going to put your right hand forward like this. If you're right-handed, you want to put your right hand up by your cheek to protect your face and put your left hand forward like so. You want to make sure that there's good distance between your hands. We also prefer that you keep your left hand forward, as it takes less time to go from this position here to punching your opponent than it does from this position here to punching your opponent. I also want you to remember to not keep your hands up by your face like this. A lot of students, especially in the beginning, want to fight from this position where their hands are very close to their face. Well, your opponent can actually use that against you and punch your hands into your face. Now, I know a lot of professionals fight like this, and when you become a professional, you're more than welcome to fight like that. But for now, we want to make sure that there's good distance between your hands. Okay, from here, we're going to move on and show you the punches themselves. Now that you have your hand positioning and your foot positioning, we're going to show you the four most common punches used in boxing and kickboxing. The first one is called a jab, and it's executed with your lead hand. So from the fighting position, you're going to take your hand, your lead hand, and you're going to turn it over and punch your opponent right into the mouth area, making sure to keep your hand flat across the top. Once you're done and you've hit your opponent, you bring it back to your fighting stance position. So once again, from here, you're going to turn it over using back and shoulder muscles and some forearm muscles. You're going to punch your opponent right in the mouth area and come back to your fighting stance position. The next punch is called a cross, and it's usually executed with your power hand. So if you're right-handed, it's going to be your right hand. If you're left-handed, it's going to be your left-handed. Like the jab, it's executed so it's flat across the top, and you're going to put it right into your opponent's mouth area. Okay? When you throw the punch, you're going to bring your lead hand back to cover your face, and then go back to the fighting position. The punch after that is called a hook. Now, a hook is not a rounded punch like you see here. That's called a haymaker, and we try not to use those. A hook is a straight shot right to the side of your opponent's jaw. So from the fighting stance, you're going to take your lead hand, turn it over, hit your opponent's jaw like that, and come back to the fighting position. For lefties, okay, it's going to be with your right hand. Once again, you're going to turn it over, hit your opponent straight in the jaw, and come back to the fighting position here. Again, it is not a rounded punch. It's a straight shot right to the side of your opponent's jaw like that. The next punch is called the uppercut. Now, contrary to popular belief, an uppercut does not have to be a rounded punch like the hook. It's not a rounded punch in this style. What you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand, if you're right-handed, and you're going to go straight out with the knuckles up and hit your opponent right in the tip of the chin here. The object of the uppercut is to lift the head up, right? If you were executing it like this. Well, it's much faster and more efficient if you just drill straight out and hit your opponent right in the chin, which will force his head up, and from there you can execute any number of punches. So the uppercut looks just like this. You're going to bring your lead hand back to your face to cover it, execute the uppercut, and come back to your fighting stance. So let's go through those once again. You have the jab, you have the cross, you have a hook, and you have an uppercut. Okay, now from here we're going to go on and show you the combinations. Alright, now that you've learned your punches, we're going to show you how to put them together in combination so you can use them just like a boxer. Now we've included these punching combinations in our notes that accompany each film, but you might want to get a pen and write these down, as the punching combinations change with each level, and we want you to memorize them before moving on. The first punch, it's a jab. You're just going to do a jab here and execute a number of jabs. The next combination after that is called a double jab, where you're going to execute 2 quick punches to your opponent's mouth area, remembering to keep your jab flat across the top each time you punch it. And you want to make sure that you execute 2 twisting punches. I see a lot of students that do this in the beginning, or they'll twist one and keep the other one flat. You don't want to do that because it only uses the tricep muscle. Each time you twist, it puts back and shoulder and forearm muscle into the punch, making it a stronger punch. That's why we actually execute a double jab. Now the next one is the jab cross, where you're going to execute a jab with your lead hand, bring it back and cover your face, and then throw a cross, again to your opponent's mouth area, and then come back to your fighting position. So jab, cross, fighting stance, jab, cross, fighting stance, jab, cross, fighting stance. If you're a lefty, it looks like this: jab, cross, fighting stance, making sure to keep distance between your hands, jab, cross, fighting stance, like that. The next combination is jab, cross, hook. Jab and cover, cross and cover, throw a hook to your opponent's jaw here, and then back to your fighting stance. Jab, cross, hook, fighting stance, jab, cross, hook, fighting stance, jab, cross, hook, fighting stance, jab, cross, hook, fighting stance. The next combination now includes the uppercut. It's jab, cross, hook, uppercut. So jab and cover your face, cross, bring it back, cover your face, hook, cover your face, throw the uppercut, and back to fighting stance. One more time. Jab and cover, cross and cover, hook and cover, uppercut, fighting stance. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut, fighting stance. Remember, you want to get it in the same small circle right here on your opponent's mouth and right on the jaw here. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut, fighting stance. Now the next one includes what's called a weave, where you're going to learn to bend your knees and bend your waist, go under your opponent's punch, and back to your fighting stance. So it's jab, cross, hook, bend your knees, bend your waist a little bit, come up and throw another hook again, and back to fighting stance. Jab, cross, hook, weave, and hook, jab and cover, cross and cover, hook, come back to a cover position, bend your knees, bend your waist in kind of a U-shaped movement with your head going to the left if you're right-handed, and throw your hook and back to fighting stance. If you're left-handed, it's jab, cross, hook. You're going to do a U-shaped movement with your head to the right, bending your knees and bending your waist, and throwing another hook. Jab, cross, hook, cover your face, weave to the right, and throw your hook again. Okay, next combination is jab, cross, hook. We're going to weave to the left, weave to the right, throw a right cross, and a left hook. Okay, so if you're right-handed, it looks like this: jab, cross, hook, weave to the left, weave to the right, right cross, left hook. Jab, cross, hook, weave left, weave right, right cross, left hook. If you're left-handed, it looks like this. Jab, cross, hook, weave right, weave left, cross, and hook. Okay? Jab, cross, hook, weave right, weave left, cross, and hook. All right, the next combination is uppercut, left hook. So you're going to uppercut and hook. Uppercut your opponent and hook. Uppercut, hook, uppercut, hook. Okay? And the next one after that is cross and hook. Cross, hook, cross, hook. All right? So let's go over that again. Jab, double jab, jab right cross, jab cross hook, jab cross hook, uppercut, jab cross hook, weave and hook, jab cross hook, weave, weave, cross hook, uppercut hook, and cross hook. Okay, from here we're going to move on to show you your kicks. Okay, light warriors, let's do a quick review. You've learned the hand and foot positioning for your fighting stance. You've learned your primary punches, and we've done a quick class on the basic punching combinations. Now we're going to move on to your primary kicks. The first one being the front ball kick. It's used with the front leg from your fighting stance, and the ball of your foot is the primary part of attack that strikes your opponent. The ball of your foot is this part of your foot here, and it ends right where your toes begin. It's designed very well by nature to take a lot of pressure for when you're running and bouncing, and when we use it as a point of attack, it can deliver a lot of damage to our opponent. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our leg in kind of a whipping motion. So you want to bring your knee up first, swing your leg out, striking your opponent, and then bring it back and set it down right where it came from. So everybody get in your fighting stance, make sure your feet are pointed at a 45-degree angle, and you're going to bring your front foot up here like this, bring your knee up, extend your leg out, striking your target, bring it back, and set it down right where it came from. Once again, knee up, leg out, bring it back, and set it down. Okay, let's try one more time. Knee up, extend your kick out, make sure to bring your toes back, make your foot straight, bring it back, and set it down right where you started. To go a little faster now, ready? 1. Okay, knee up again, strike, bring it back and set it down. Bring knee up, strike, bring it back and set it down. And one more time, ready? Knee up, strike your opponent, bring it back, and set it down. When you kick, make sure to keep your hands up to protect your face. The next kick is called the back ball kick, and it's our back leg from our fighting stance, once again using the ball of the foot as the primary method by which we strike our opponent. So you're going to bring your knee up, strike your opponent using the ball of your foot, bring it back, and set it down behind you right where it came from. We're also going to show you a little more advanced technique, and what you're going to do is you're going to shift your hands and shoulders forward in response to your kick. So as your leg comes out, okay, as it goes out like that, you're going to shift your hands forward, gives you a little bit better balance, strike your opponent in the midsection, bring your leg back, set it down behind you, and your hands go back to the regular fighting stance position. So ready, knee up, switch hands, strike your opponent, bring your foot back, set it down behind you, and your hands go back to fighting stance. A little bit faster now, up, out, back, and down, up, out, strike your opponent, bring your leg back, set it down, and right back to fighting stance. One more time, switch your hands, knee up, strike your opponent, bring the leg back, and back to fighting stance. One more time, a little faster now. Boom. And once again, boom. Okay. The next kick we're going to move on to is the round kick. And like the ball kick, you're just going to pick it up really quickly, snap your opponent in the leg, and bring it back and set it down. This is only primarily for a leg kick. In kickboxing, we like to keep our kicks below the waist or directly to the abdomen. Trying to kick somebody in the head is kind of like trying to punch them in the toe. Not that you couldn't get it, it's probably just not a good idea. Alright, so you're just going to pick your front leg up, snap a kick to your opponent's thigh, and bring it back and set it down. In the front round kick, the shin is the primary part of attack. Okay, so you're going to pick it up, strike him using the shin here, right on the thigh, and then put it right back. Bang. Okay, go again, knee up, strike your target, bring it back, and set it down. Knee up, strike your opponent's thigh, bring it back, and set it down. It's pretty simple kick. You'll actually wind up using a lot of these in the ring to keep your opponent away from you and keep your opponent guessing what you're going to do next. The next kick is the back round kick. This is going to be a little more complicated than the others because you have to turn your foot, your front foot, in what's called a pivot first so that your knee is not facing straight forward. In kickboxing, we're going to show you how to redirect an opponent's kick. So when somebody tries to kick you straight on, you're going to push that kick out of the way and you're going to strike at their leg as a target. If you do that and your knee gets swept out of the way, you don't want your knee facing forward, allowing your opponent to strike it from either side, possibly damaging it. So what we want to do is we want to pivot our front foot, bring your knee up, shift your hands, strike your opponent in the thigh, and then bring it back and set it down right where it came from. So once again, pivot, okay, pivot your front foot, turning it outward. Shift your hands now to give yourself some balance. Bring your knee up, strike your opponent in the thigh, and then put the leg back down behind you and bring your foot in, bringing yourself back to the fighting stance. Okay, so ready? Pivot, shift, kick, back and down. Pivot, shift your hands, bring your knee up, kick your opponent in the thigh using your shin, bring it back behind you, set it down, and go back to fighting stance. One more time, pivot your front foot, shift your hands, they can be open or closed. Bring your knee up, strike your opponent in the thigh, and then bring it back and set it down behind you. A little quicker, pivot, kick, and put it back, pivot, shift, kick, and put it back. Pivot your foot, shift your hands, kick your opponent, bring it back, and set it down. Okay, now we're going to move on to the front side kick. Okay, light warriors, now we're going to show you the front and back side kick. I know that you've seen movies and films where the hero does a side kick, something like that, strikes somebody in the head and they go flying off. Well, I got to tell you, in reality, it doesn't really work that way. Not that you can't hurt somebody with a side kick, but in the ring, facing somebody who's trained or facing a kickboxer, most likely what will happen is they're going to grab your foot and they're going to kick you someplace you don't want to be kicked. Okay? So remember, in kickboxing, we want to keep our kicks below the waist or directly to the abdomen. We're not going to try and lean our foot up and kick somebody in the head. Once again, trying to kick somebody in the head is like trying to punch them in the toe. Not that you can't do it, it's just not a good idea. Alright, so the kickboxer side kick is very different from what you might call a karate or kung fu side kick. Again, a karate side kick looks very similar to that. The kickboxing side kick, what you're going to do is you're going to bring your knee up behind you here and extend your leg out with your foot facing sideways. So you bring your knee up like this, extend your kick out with your foot sideways, striking your opponent in the abdomen, and then you're going to bring it back and set it down right where it came from. This helps you develop the force that you need to actually stop somebody that's moving forward and send them flying backward. Okay? So you're going to bring your knee up on the front side kick, extend the kick out, strike them in the abdomen, bring it back down right where it came from. To go a little faster, it's here, bang, set it down. Once again, knee up, throw the kick out, strike your opponent in the abdomen, and put it right back where it came from, and you go right back into your fighting stance. A little faster, boom, boom, and down, and boom, boom, and set the kick down. The next kick is the backside kick, and this is probably the most complicated of all kicks. And it's similar to the back round kick in that you have to pivot your front foot, just like in the back round kick, and then you bring your knee up here, like so. You throw your kick forward, remembering to shift your hands to give you some balance, and then you bring it back and put it right back where it came from. So pivot, knee, fire the kick, put it back down behind you, pivot, bring your knee up, throw the kick out, and put it right back behind you, right where it came from. Going a little faster, pivot, knee, fire, back and down, and pivot, knee, fire, back and down. Okay, give that some practice. It's a tough one, but when you learn it and make it strong, it's a tough kick to beat. Okay, now we're going to move on to our front outside and back outside crescent kicks. And I want to warn you, these are not combat kicks. These are conditioning kicks and strengthening kicks. And they help you build all of your ancillary muscles that are all your helper muscles for the kicks that you are going to use in the ring or on the street. It also helps you build your hip flexor, which is a tendon right here attached to your quadriceps, okay? And when you do a lot of kicking, that can get a little bit sore. We want to build strength in your hip flexor so that you can pick your kicks up and use them just like you do punches, okay? So the first kick is the front outside crescent kick. And the idea is we want to swing our leg up and out in a wide circular motion to the outside. So it looks like this. Boom, bring your leg up, make a big circle with it, okay, and put it right back and go right back to your fighting stance. Boom, crescent kick, front crescent kick again. You swing your whole leg up in a big circle and put it right back where it came from. The next one is the back outside crescent kick, where we're going to swing our back leg in a big arcing motion up and down and then put it right back down behind us. So ready? Go. Okay, and go. One more time. Boom. So you just swing your leg up and bring it to the outside and put it back down behind you. Okay. The next one is the front inside crescent kick. And it's going to be kind of a backwards D in that we swing the leg out, but when we hit the center, we drop it right down in front of us. Okay? Just like that. So you swing it out and put it down, up and out and down, up and out, and then down in front of us. The back inside crescent kick is very much the same. Make a big arcing motion and drop it right down in front of you. Knee up, strike your opponent, put it back down behind you, knee up, and bring it in. There we go. Okay, and that covers the primary kickboxing kicks. Okay, Light Warriors, now that you've learned your primary punches and kicks and your basic combinations, it's time to get our workout video. In there, I'm going to take you through the same workout that I've taught to my boxing and kickboxing students for years. You're going to learn to memorize your combinations, speed up your reflexes, and develop strength, stamina, and endurance. It's a fun workout, and it can be done anywhere. At home, in your garage, in your living room, your backyard, in your gym, or at the park. The best part is you don't need any equipment at all. If you have any questions, make sure to send an email to info@lightwarrioracademy.com and we'll get back with you right away. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.